Hello, everybody. Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Information has come about on the on social media pertaining to Donald Wells, the bio donor of Summer Wells. It has been stated from the interview room that SA charges have been filed um, coming out of Utah pertaining to, I guess it's Utah, pertaining to Donald Wells and old allegations of improprieties of a young person, allegedly from the relative. Thank you all. Thank you all for waiting. Sorry it took so long. But anyway, hold on a minute. Hold on. Trying to turn this volume down on this gadget. Hold on one second, you guys. Thanks for joining me. 1 second, please. These flies keep flying around. Sorry about that. These bugs are horrible here, Tennessee. Every time I open the door, it seems like they found a way to get in. Where do I begin? Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Chris, for stopping in the chat. Chris Thorne, check out his content. And thank you for your help, Mr. Thorne. God bless you. What can I say? This was the allegation a week ago that perhaps this is why all these fake phone calls were coming about between Donald Wells, Candace Bly, and one of the sisters, Miss Mary. I can't even gather my thoughts right now. I'm sorry. Obviously, this is the 411. Jesus, I don't know. How you doing? Y'all decided to go early. I don't want to go late because I still have my R. Kelly content to upload. If you all want to check out my R. Kelly content, if you are a fan or not a fan, you just want to keep up with what's going on in the news, I will be doing another upload pertaining to R. Kelly and other updates to other stories. But this right here is crazy. I meant to check something out before I came on, which would be pertaining to the laws in the state of Utah pertaining to sexual allegations, rape, whatever. But obviously, you can file charges. There's no statute of limitations. When this went in effect, I don't know in that state. Has it always been in effect? I don't know because I don't know the laws out there. But this is very interesting. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank the mods on deck. Thank you all. Not out. Thank you all for joining me. So what do you all think about this information? Of the allegations? What do you think of the allegations? Do you believe they're true? How do you feel about this sister, I guess it's Jeannie, who's brought forth the allegation? Why now? Why is it only because Summer went missing that you would bring forth allegations that this man has touched you as a child? Why didn't you do this before? That's why I said, when did this state have this situation? How can I word it? How long has this law been on the books? That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry about that. I just can't get my thoughts out. Chris Stokes. Good old Chris. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to type it in. Just a second, you guys. Thanks for joining me. Right now, as most of you know, I have a friend in Louisiana. He and his sister are staying in a hotel, Carlos P. I gave you the information on my community posts. He's in dire need. He's trying to get situated to decide where he's going to try to live, if he's going to try to stay down in Louisiana and or move to Tennessee. Naturally, he likes it there. He doesn't want to have to leave, but he's right now working with FEMA. And so any donation that you can give would be helpful. So if you can donate something to the Cash App, it would be very helpful because right now, as I state, the other dogs are in Tennessee. He's trying to get situated to decide what to do with those dogs and also the other dogs that are in Louisiana. $Los 55 Perry is Carlos' Cash App. Anything you can give is humbly appreciated. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Fred, for donating to his Cash App because he needed that. Because right now, just trying to get gas down there is a problem. They don't even have gas to put in their cars. So they're It's a jacked up situation for anybody in Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, also New Jersey, New York. These people are in a dire situation. And we don't know this situation if we've never been in it. So if you want to help Carlos out with a situation, please donate to $Los55 Perry to help out with whatever food, toiletries, gas, dog food, going back and forth to different places to get, because now he's having to travel with keeping the dogs in one place in Louisiana, then also worrying about the dogs that's here in the house up in Tennessee, and those people are now having to move. So please, whatever you can do to help out. This is a very daunting story pertaining to Donald Wells, this make-believe phone call that they enacted to this stepsister Mary. Candace crying, moaning, blubbering, blah, blah, blah. I believe Don was there all along. He orchestrated this. And what you have to tell yourself, if you have parents that would do this crazy nonsense with a child missing, 3 in the state's care, you were not good examples to be a parent. You had no business raising children at all. Sorry, this fly is killing me. You have no business raising children. So what you have to ask yourself is this. This is what it was like with these people. Would you want these people as your parents? This diabolical? Would you want these people as your parents? Of course not. Because my thing is, if you're willing to play a prank like this and call somebody on the phone, making up stuff, trying to get information out of them, these are the same people that were raising children, rearing children. They had no business rearing kids, period, at all. At all. That's said information. Thank you for joining me. I'm typing right now something in the chat for you guys. Thank you all so much. This thing is starting to work me down. But why these fly keep flying in here? Thank you all for tuning in, sharing all the content of Everyday Shenanigans. But that's the said information. So, what has become of Donald Wells and Candy, since they are still married? They're still married, still living in the same house. What has become of these people? What has become of them getting their children back? No way in the world the state will give you your kids back after they see this stunt. What is the police thinking about this stunt? What is the church thinking about these people? And as I saw him say on a post, what did he say? Something about Summer's favorite church. Well, why isn't it your favorite church? You were going there with Summer and your children. So why is it Summer's favorite church? You see, you have to read between the wording, the conversations. This man is a walking time bomb. He's a nut. Like I said, no business with kids. You see now, these people were rearing children. These are not people you want rearing kids. Thank you all for joining me. I don't believe they will ever get them kids back, and hope they don't. I hope and pray they. I have to get back. I can't see my screen well. Let me see. Hold on. Let me move over a little bit. Lights make bugs fly worse. Let me see. And they don't hope, pray they stay where they at. Yes. Or a decent family takes the children. Either way. Either way. Either way. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get some information about this state of Utah. My screen is messing up. Oh, Jesus. Now, what is wrong with this thing? Okay. Nose itching. Lord of mercy. This bug. Me and this bug, we're about to fight. Sorry. Yes. Catching up with them. Yes. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get something. I can barely see. Ain't got my glasses on. Let me read you some information pertaining to the laws in Utah. Hold on one second. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $BeganG129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Hello, everybody. I can't see a lick. This is a rough day for the queen. Excuse me. I'm a little off. Just trying to get it situated, get this live situated. I'm just a little off right now. Okay. This is from Overson Law PLLC. If you need verification for the information I'm about to bring to you. Does sexual assault have a statute of limitations in Utah? A law called the Statute of Limitations sets an absolute deadline on how long plaintiffs have to file claims in civil cases and on how long prosecutors have to file charges in criminal cases. There are some rare exceptions where the deadline may be extended, such as the discovery rule in medical malpractice claims. The statute varies in length based on jurisdiction and the nature of the underlying claim or charges, but it is typically restricted to just a few years at most. This short window of time is especially controversial with regard to sexual offenses because the victims often hesitate to come forward until well after the statute has expired. In March of 2015, the Utah legislature passed HB 277, removing the deadline for civil lawsuits involving child abuse. What about criminal cases? It says, how long do prosecutors have to file sex crime charges against defendants in Utah? Simply put, Utah has no statute of limitations for sex crimes. Generally, Utah Code 76-1-301, parentheses 2, allows prosecution at any time for 19 crimes, including the following crimes. And they are listed as I read them. Rape of a child, object rape of a child, forcible sodomy, sodomy on a child, sexual abuse of a child, aggravated sexual abuse of a child, and aggravated sexual assault. This means that there is no statute of limitations for these sex crimes. The state of Utah can charge and prosecute rape at any time after the crime was committed. Generally, the statutes of limitations in Utah are found in Utah Code, some SS 76-1-302, time limitations for prosecution of offenses. The Utah deadlines for initiating prosecution are 1 year for infractions, 2 years for misdemeanors such as possession of marijuana in small amounts. Negligent homicide is exempt from this rule. 8 years for incest and forcible sexual abuse. However, prosecution for the following crimes can be initiated at any time in situations where the offender's identity is unknown, but DNA evidence is collected that would identify the person at a later date. So prosecution can begin at any time for aggravated assault, child abuse, terroristic threats, child endangerment, criminal homicide, murder, aggravated murder, manslaughter, negligent homicide, vehicular homicide, homicide by assault, child abuse homicide, kidnapping and child kidnapping, rape, aggravated sexual assault, burglary, aggravated burglary, robbery, and aggravated robbery. All these can come at any time in the state of Utah if evidence has been collected through DNA to identify the said person later. Thank you all for joining me. God is good. The only time this rule does not apply is when 1, the underlying statute expired by May 5th, 2003, and 2, no criminal charges were subsequently filed. If the offender is eventually identified by DNA evidence as noted above, prosecution must be initiated within 1 year. Statute of limitations on old crimes. This is pertaining to the state of Utah. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. The law removing the statute of limitations for these sex crimes was only passed in 2013. What happens with crimes that were committed before 2013? What if the victim was a child at the time of the offense, but already turned 18 by the time the law was passed in 2013? In 2003, the Supreme Court decided in Strongner versus California that a statute of limitations cannot be extended to reopen the possibility of prosecution for a crime that was already outside the statute of limitations. This means that if you were charged with a sex crime that was committed before the statute of limitations was removed in 2013, you might be able to get the sex crime charges dropped. Additionally, the statute of limitations in Utah, unlike some other states, is not dependent on when the victim turns 18. If you are charged with an old sex crime, you should consult a sex crime attorney that can help you fight the statute of limitations. Which crimes are sex crimes in Utah? Sex crimes or sexual offenses, as they are called in the Utah Code, are crimes that involve sexual activity. The sexual offenses in Utah Criminal Code are, thank you all for joining me, God bless all of you, unlawful sexual activity with a minor, sexual abuse of a minor, unlawful sexual conduct with a 16 or 17-year-old, rape of a child, object rape of a child, sodomy, forcible sexual abuse of a child, aggravated sexual assault. There are so many different crimes that are considered sex crimes because each one covers a different type of conduct, and many of them have different penalties based on these differences. For instance, rape and rape of a child are separated into two crimes depending on the age of the victim. Additionally, even though the actual conduct of sexual intercourse is the same, rape requires that it was without consent, for rape of a child. Consent is not a factor since children cannot consent to sex. Amen. So no goofy ass person can say she wanted it, he wanted it. Thank you. Jesus Christ, help me. The penalty is also different for the two crimes since there is a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years for rape and 25 years for rape of a child. There is also a separate statute for when the victim is not a child, but is 16 or 17 years old. Other sex crimes have similar differences. Most of them change their definition depending on whether or not there was penetration of the genitals where penetration occurred and what object or body part was used to penetrate the victim. Additionally, some crimes exist to cover not only the sexual nature of the crime, but also the use of force. Note that while most of these crimes have no statute of limitations, there is statute of limitations for, listen carefully, unlawful sexual activity with a minor, a third degree felony. Let me repeat what I'm saying to you. While most of these sex crimes have no statute of limitations, there is a statute of limitations for unlawful sexual activity with a minor, third degree felony, sexual abuse of a minor, a class A misdemeanor or third degree felony, and unlawful sexual conduct with a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, class A misdemeanor or third degree felony. So, with these allegations pertaining to Mr. Wells and these sisters, neighbors, whomever, although on the books it says there's no statute of limitations, yes, there is. It does say right here, right near the end of this article, unlawful sexual activity with a minor, third degree felony, sexual abuse of a minor, class A misdemeanor or third degree felony, and unlawful sexual conduct with a 16 or 17-year-old, class A misdemeanor or third degree felony. These three crimes have the possibility being a third degree felony. So prosecution must be started within the 4-year statute of limitations. Ultimately, these crimes are more complex than most types of crimes. An experienced sex crimes attorney can help you understand which charges are inappropriate to the specific situation. Many times, a defendant can get charges reduced based on the slight differences between these statutes. Often, the age of the victim and the age of the defendant can reduce the possible sentence to. Thank you all for joining me. Okay. Lot to read. Sorry about that. Sinus is acting up. Is having no statute of limitations fair? The absence of a statute of limitations on felony sex crimes is relatively common in the United States. For example, there is no deadline for prosecutors, to file rape charges in the states of Alabama, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, South Dakota, or West Virginia. No deadlines for prosecutors to file charges for rape in the said states I just mentioned: Alabama, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, South Dakota, and West Virginia. Likewise, there is no deadline for filing sexual assault charges in Arizona, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Virginia, West Virginia, or Wisconsin, subject to a few qualifications. The state of Wyoming takes this to an extreme and does not impose a statute of limitations on any criminal charges whatsoever. In contrast to many other states, there is no crime of sexual assault in Utah. Only aggravated sexual assault, as defined by Utah Code SS 76-5-405. As noted on the list above, aggravated sexual assault is not subject to any deadline on prosecution in the state of Utah. Rape of a child under 14, object rape of a child, and sodomy on a child are also exempt from prosecution deadlines. Utah residents must be aware of these facts in order to prepare for the possibility of prosecution for alleged sex crime. Okay. I'm on the live. Come on, y'all. Man, come on, man. Messing me up where I was. Let me go back. In contrast to many other states, there is no crime of sexual assault in Utah. Only aggravated sexual assault as defined by Utah Code SS 76-5-405. As noted on the list above, aggravated sexual assault is not subject to any deadline on prosecution in the state of Utah. Rape of a child under 14, object rape of a child, and sodomy on a child are also exempt from prosecution deadlines. Utah residents must be made aware of these facts in order to prepare for the possibility of prosecution for alleged sex crimes. Usually, statutes of limitations exist to protect the accused from having to face trial for crimes that happened a long time ago. In those cases, witness memory may have degraded or evidence lost or degraded to a point where prosecution may be difficult. While having no statute of limitations for sexual crimes may leave defendants open to prosecution longer, the fact that evidence and memory may degrade over time may make a conviction much more difficult. On the other side of the issue is concerned that victims hesitate to come forward and report that they were the victim of a sex crime. Because of this, the legislature decided to give them as much time as they need to come forward. Since sex crimes often go unreported, prosecution of the ones that do get reported is often very strong. This makes it that much more important to make sure that your attorney is experienced in defending sex crimes. If you've been charged with a sex offense or other felony or misdemeanor in Utah, you can't afford to go against the prosecutor without a compassionate and experienced criminal defense attorney on your side in court. Penalties for sex crimes can involve decades in prison, thousands of dollars in fines and restitution, and mandatory placement on the sex offender registry for decades or even a lifetime. Thank you all for joining me. Oh, Lord have mercy. And it has even more in here. Let's see, it has a little more in here. Utah passes HB 277, eliminates deadline for civil child abuse claims. On behalf of victims across the state of Utah, said Foundation of Survivors of Abuse co-founder Deandra Brown, we're excited to know that we can kind of breathe, take our time in healing, and come forward and tackle that big legal case when and if we are ever ready. Brown, a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, is an ardent supporter of HB 277, the bill which was passed unanimously by the Utah House of Representatives and garnered a 24-2 vote of support from the Utah State Senate. Eliminated the former 4-year deadline, which began counting down once the victim either turned 18 years old or discovered the abuse. The bill's chief sponsor was Representative Ken Ivory, Republican of West Jordan, joined by Senate sponsor Senator Aaron Osmond, also a Republican of South Jordan, and over a dozen co-sponsors. While the bill won support from the majority of Utah's legislators, some lawmakers were concerned about the implications of removing the legal deadline. Senator Scott Jenkins, Republican Plain City, and Senator Gene Davis, Democrat of Salt Lake City, voted against HB 277, with Senator Jenkins expressing concerns that removing the deadline would increase the risk of unfounded civil claims based on false or distorted memories. And I get that. False claims, lies, you understand. It is important to reiterate that HB 277 affects only civil claims. HB 277 is now part of the Utah Code under the SS 78B-2-308. The law does not encompass all civil suits involving sex offenses, extending only to cover cases involving sexual abuse of children. So this law basically is applying for children only, not grown people that were sexually assaulted. And if you're looking for a sex crimes attorney, Mr. Darwin Overson will fight aggressively to protect your rights and to have the charges against you reduced or dismissed. To set up a free and completely private legal consultation, call Salt Lake City criminal defense lawyer Darwin right away at 801-758-2328. So Donald, if you're listening, Mr. Overson can help you out. That's the set information. If you need verification for the information I brought you, Overson Law, PLLC, is the source. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Hello, everybody. Yes, thank you all new subscribers. I heard they were investigating, had charges been brought. From my understanding, as I said in the beginning of this video, on the interview room, he put up a post that charges have been filed out of the state of Utah against Donald Wells. What's that? He admitted he did it, so hopefully that is enough to get a conviction. The more and more we hear about his offenses, the more he's looking like a lifetime predator. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Oh, mercy. Sorry, eyes watering. When I have that fan on me, it makes my eyes water. Okay, thank you all for joining me. Well, that's the said information coming out of the state of Utah. There's no statute of limitations for said crimes against children, but it can be fought. And it's pertaining to civil lawsuits. If a person is wanting to bring forth civil lawsuits against the said party for abusing them, allegedly abusing them, and the person can sue for monetary gain. The person who would be the suspect naturally can be sued for monies. He or she may have to pay fines and also be put on the sexual register as a sexual predator. Yes, it gets wilder by the day. Yes, it does. So someone says the case gets wilder by the day. Summer says, me personally, I hope the victims get justice. Well, we will see what happens. We will see. 29 minutes in. Thank you for joining me. Sorry. Whew. This weather here is off the Richter. Tennessee weather is just odd. You never know what you're going to get in this region. Hot, cold, cool. It's muggy today. And my sinuses are acting up today. Donnie boy, the big boys are coming for you. Laugh out loud, okay? Kevin B, don't. Don ain't got no money. Maybe he will sell his dogs. Kevin B, behave. Now behave. Well, we're not worrying about that. Thank you, honey. Thank you. You know, we don't worry about no haters, baby. We don't worry about haters. Thank you all for joining me. Well, that's the set information. So how do you all feel? Do you believe that do you believe the allegations against Donald Wells? And do you believe that he should, what should happen to him? Find what? Go to prison? What? What do you believe? What do you think should happen to Donald Wells? Listen, said nobody wants Don's dogs except for rescue groups. Huh? Oh, Lord. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, the weather here is horrible. I mean, cool, warm, you just can't tell how the weather's going to be. Nobody. I feel that he's going down, and I do believe allegations. Okay. Try to get situated here. He's admitted it. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. The man needs to be behind bars, okay? You believed him the first time I heard the ladies, but confirmed outrageously when he kept saying she initiated it. Yes, and that's why I said what I said in this commentary about, well, it was in this commentary, but the law says a child cannot consent to sex, period, whomever it's with. Whether it's another child or it's an adult, a child cannot consent. That's why they're called a child. And some of you don't think like that because you're just as sick as the perpetrator, the predator. A child can't consent to sex. And to even allude to the fact that a 5-year-old could consent to sex is ridiculous. Is Mr. Q in here? Thank you all for joining me. There's just no way a sane person could think that a child can consent to sex. A 5-year-old, you know, you're not talking about a teenager wanting to see what sex is about. You're talking about a child who left birth to 5. There's no way she or he knows anything about sex except for what he or she has been introduced to. They still don't know what sex is. This is ridiculous. Once Don opened his mouth, he began like a space cadet. Okay. Don needs to be locked up. Somebody says they believe all the charges. Okay. Could he do time for this? Well, it will depend on, I guess, what is told by the victim, because that's what's going to stipulate whatever happens in court. I believe this is a civil matter as far as a child, since she's now an adult. And it's been a long time ago. For Don's reaction to the whole thing alone, he should get life. Okay. Thank you. I believe it all. He is guilty. He should be castrated. Okay. Hello, Crystal. Thanks for joining us. Common sense should tell people a child couldn't consent. Well, see, if you have a sick mind, sorry, I've got a really ugly fly in here. It keeps flying around. When you have a sick mind, that's what a sick mind is going to say. They wanted it. They initiated it. They liked it. They've been flirting with me, coming on to me. Let me tell you something I heard on Oprah many years ago. Oprah Winfrey had decided to do something that was usually against the norm of society, which is talk to a pedophile predator on live daytime TV. Usually you see people doing it on the night shows, not during the day. So she invited a guy who had been convicted of child molestation and got his opinion pertaining to the crimes that he had been accused of. The most baffling thing came out of the mouth of this clown. Lord, how can I word this? He described the little girl swinging on a swing with a dress on. Okay. Hello, John Q. How are you? The swing is going back and forth, which is what a swing does. Her little dress is flowing up, down, because she's on a swing. This MF tells Oprah she was seducing me by swinging on the swing and her dress going up and down on the swing. So you see where I'm going with this. That is the perfect epitome of a pedophile and a predator. It's to blame the victim. So you're now blaming a child with a dress on, swinging in a swing, and she was enticing you by her dress flowing up on the swing. She doesn't know you. She's a minor, a itty bitty minor, enjoying herself on a swing on a playground. And because you were there where you had no business, probably looking for a victim, you tell Oprah Winfrey that a small child was enticing you by swinging on a swing and her dress flying up and down. That's what I'm saying to you. So he's no different than Donald saying a 5-year-old child wanted him. Wanted sex, wanted to be touched, whatever it is he did to her. A sicko. And we have many people walking around who have committed crimes against children. And as one person said, it's normal for children to touch each other. Well, we know that children touch each other inappropriately. But once you get wind that a child is touching another child, you need to tell the child it is inappropriate for you to touch your brother, sister, cousin, or any other children. We know that children are curious. We know this. And we know there is a chance that a child will touch another child inappropriately, be it same sex, opposite sex. But you cannot willingly know that a child is touching another child and do nothing about it. You have to say something to the child once you have caught them. Once you get wind they're doing that, you have to say, that is a no-no. We don't touch our brothers and sisters. We do not touch our neighbors. We do not touch other children. You keep your hands to yourself. You keep your private parts to yourself. You don't show your private parts to anybody. And you don't let anybody touch your private parts. You have to tell a child it is unacceptable. Because if you never tell the child, then he or she will grow up thinking it's okay to touch people in their private areas and to engage in sexual activity, child or not. It is unacceptable, but you have to be taught that. Hello, Andrea. How you doing, darling? Hello. Hello, Sativa. Seduction. Yes, we know it's an art of seduction. It's grooming. That's why they use the word grooming. Yes, if you see something, say something. Many people have upheld sexual predators. This is the reason why they do what they do. R. Kelly is a prime example. I'm going to say that in this live. He's a prime example. He was molested by neighbors, his sister. Then he grows up to participate as an offender. Because obviously he was touched probably often. We don't know how often. But the point is he was touched more than once, more than one person. So now he's touching people. You think R. Kelly wasn't touching other children? He probably was. because you end up becoming a predator because you've been violated. You've been taught to violate others. How can it stop? You're a child. That's even worse. A child being molested. Now he's going out molesting other children. Now he's an adult, and now he's seeking the comfort and gratification from a child. He desires a child. He has told himself or herself, this is okay behavior. Why y'all got a problem with it? And just like that guy asked him in an interview many moons ago, do you like teenage girls? R. Kelly looked at him and said, what do you mean by teenage? What age? What the hell you mean what we mean? That lets you know he was complicit to being attracted to and bedding underage girls. The fact that you would ask the host of the show, what do you mean by teenage? What age do you mean? What do you mean? A teenager is what it is. It means teenager. Hell, 19 still got a teen on it. Stay woke. Even though most laws say you can be 18 to do most things. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You can be 18 to vote, 18 to rent an apartment. Sick is sick. Thank you all for joining me. $160 in the room. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is a very sad situation. And so I understand why many of you will say to yourselves, well, if it's true of the allegations with Jeannie, Mary, whomever, other children, grandchildren, he's sexually assaulted these ladies. He's possibly sexually assaulted other women. I don't know if he's also done it to boys. So if he's done it to other children while he was a child, then 9 times out of 10, he didn't get help. He went out and still violated children in general. How would it stop? Why would he not sexually assault his own children? So I understand why a lot of you are assuming Donald Wells has violated Summer or possibly his boys too. And I still would like to get some information pertaining to this Walmart incident that was mentioned about a month and a half ago pertaining to a conversation between Ali Mulani and Candace Bly. I would like to get a receipt to that said allegation that the boy children were touching one another, or one of the boy children, one of the Wells boys was touching another Wells boy. Thank you all for joining me. Well, yes, it's always going to be a cover-up because there are people who are sick. They know it's sick what they're doing, but they go along with it. That's why I wanted you all to watch the movie. I put a movie up for the week. The movie of the week is called A Dark Place. It came out around 2017, 2018. I put it up on a community page. That was the perfect movie for what is being alleged in this case pertaining to Summer Wells. Summer Wells is a small child missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee. There are allegations that have come forward pertaining to her father being a sexual predator. And this is why I want you to watch the movie A Dark Place. I will not tell you what the movie is about. I just recommend that you go find it on the Roku channel, YouTube, which is however, and log on and watch the movie. It is a very good movie. The scene is set in a very small town in Pennsylvania. And the issue is that a small boy child has gone missing. I recommend this movie to all of you in the chat. It is called A Dark Place. There are other movies with the same title, but this one is around the 17-18 release date, and it is a very good movie. And I recommend it to you, especially because of the topics of what we've been talking about on the YT pertaining to this child. Thank you. Yes, there's a lot going on. Yes. Well, that's the whole point. What is facts in this case? What is an actual fact? Summer Wells went missing. What is the actual date? Allegedly June 15th. That's the only truth that we know. And that her brothers are now in the state's care. Her government name is Summer Wells. Everything else is he said, she said. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, Emily. How are you, dear? Thank the mods on deck. Thank you all so much. Yes, if you want to watch the movie, A Dark Place, please watch it. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you. It's a very good movie. The ending will blow your mind because I was stunned when I saw the ending because I was like, I started doing something right the last 30 minutes. So then I had to go back in and rewind it so I could understand how everything led up to the ending. But it's a very good movie. Thank you all so much. Okay, Shaydoc says Amazon Prime has it. Okay. For free? Okay. So you can watch it on Amazon Prime and also the Roku channel, because I believe I pulled it up on the Roku channel. As I don't know that it's a true story. It's just a movie, sweetheart, just a mystery. Thank you. You know, I rarely wear silver. But this was I don't know. Somebody gave this to me. I can't remember. It might be one of my thrift store finds, honey. I can't remember, child. I got so much costume jewelry back in there in that bedroom, honey. It's all neatly hanging up, waiting for the queen to pick her up and put her on. So I thought, I'm wearing this little black dress, I'll just throw this little necklace on for the live. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. Thank you all. But that's the 411 pertaining to Donald Wells. I think it's appalling, his behavior since the child went missing. No pleas to the public for the child. No pleas to the abductor. Let me be specific in what I'm saying. No pleas to the abductors for taking my child. Please bring me my child. Where is my child? If you have her, don't harm her. We love her. We want her back. Her brothers miss her, love her. Please bring her back. That is what you say when your child is missing. You don't talk about the resurrection. You don't talk about Peter, Paul, Dick. You don't go run the YouTubers. Did I stutter? You don't run the YouTubers because you're more concerned with finding your child than talking to a YouTuber. I said that. Thank you, Kevin. Now you're playing pranks on people to get back at whomever, Jeannie, a YouTuber, YouTubers Plus, however you want to break the story down. You see, I don't get that analytical pertaining to Donald Wells. I don't have that kind of time. I like my brain where it is. She gets enough dysfunction from other buffoons. She ain't got to go in the holler to get her head banged around with foolishness. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have that kind of time. The man is sick. Candy is sick. And the sick part is these people were raising 4 children. These people had other children before them that they no longer have custody of. Stay woke. Now they are minus all their damn kids. And the only thing they can do is play hopscotch on the phone, drunk, high, geeked up, rolling, whatever street term you want to use, at the expense of who? Who are you hurting? You're only hurting yourselves because you're the ones everyone is looking at as culprits to getting Summer Wells gone. So you're not doing nothing. You ain't hurting the Queen. You're not hurting Johnson City. You ain't hurting Greenville. You ain't hurting Kingsport, Rogersville, Pookieville. You hurting your damn self. Because them folks in the holler, they got their kids. They got their kids. Their kids. You have all your children gone. And that says a lot about your character. That you couldn't even get it right. Time number 2. Each party couldn't get it right. Time number 2. What are the odds of losing all of your children at 2 separate times. Come on, Cal City. I said it. Call a spade a spade. Same game. One on one side of the globe, one in the hollow. I know. Grandma, she's not exempt. I was getting her. Hold on. Hold on. Granny Kane. You know, I got a name for everybody. Granny Kane, why would you leave your child? You got a child missing who's never been discovered, found. My source says she's alive. Shut up. But despite that, you would leave your child and her children been taken out of custody and one's missing, possibly dead. You would leave her. Why? Your daughter has nothing in the hollow because Donald don't count. Why would you leave your child? You see, I believe you a cold MF too. That's why Candy is an empty vessel. Because she looks like her mammy. She walks like her mammy. Two men in the pod. Come on, Queen. You a dirty old lady. To leave your child behind, knowing she's facing scrutiny alongside her goofy husband for the disappearance of a child, and now 3 children taken out of their custody, and you would leave her. Or maybe you said to yourself, well, she all right now. All her children gone. She Gucci. It's just her and Don. She ain't got to worry about nothing. She don't need no help because she don't have her children. Be a terrible way to be, don't you think, Granny Kane? You people are despicable. And I'm glad that none of those children are in your custody. I do not wish anything foul upon Summer Wells, but I know God got it, so I can no longer worry about Summer Wells because I know God got this, whatever she is. And God gonna handle them 3 babies, them 3 boys. You all are atrocious, all 3 of you. Candy Kane, Granny Kane, and Don Juan. It's the reason you in the mess you in now, because you never cared for yourself or your children or your spouse. So it shouldn't be a shock to any of us that you're in the shape that you're in, because you've been damn empty. You've been falling. And you've been hiding behind the church, using the church as a crutch for whatever reasons before Summer went missing. And where does the church stand? We're going to go all down in the belly of the beast tonight. I can't hear you, Pastor. Did you say something? Are they welcome in your church now? Are we still rooting for the Wells now, Pastor? You see, I never put blame with the church because, as I tell you, I got to have a receipt on complicity. But I can say it now. Where does the church stand as far as the Wells are concerned? Are they welcome in your church? Will you go toe-to-toe for the Wells now? Robin, where are you? No disrespect, but where are you now? It took one phone call for some of you cuckoo birds to realize that Candy Kane and Don Juan were liars and possibly could be murderers. Shut up, Queen. Where you been the past 2 months? Because I've been in the holler watching the story. Where you been? Sucking on lollipops, wanting the best for 2 people you don't know a damn thing about. They weren't your friends. They weren't your relatives. They weren't your neighbors. They weren't your co-workers. You didn't go to church with them, but you rallied for them anyway. Because what? You don't want to be that person to think the worst of a man and a woman. Honey, you better wake up and get your face out that Cheerio bowl and join the living. If it stinks, it's probably a reason. It looks bad, it's probably a reason. And now, yes, the belly of the beast. They've played a phone call prank. And now you feeling some type of way about Don Juan and Candy Cane. I don't trust them. I don't believe nothing they ever say again. You late, boo-boo. You late. See, the party been going on. You showed up late. I've been woke. I've been woke day one with the dispatch call. Everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story. And the beginning of the story says Candy Cane took a walk. And then it changed when she and Don Juan gave an interview to the news. So how were you lost? And what happened to somewhere else? Why did you still believe what these two had to say to the news and to Facebook and to YouTube? How were you befuddled? Because I wasn't. Yes, no discernment at all. They do not have it. And some other people out there don't have it either. But obviously the gift of discernment is a gift. It is a gift from God. And I humbly appreciate the gift. Because a lot of times we know when to fold. We know when to leave people alone. We know when not to be bothered with people. We know when we have been lied to. When we have been manipulated. When we have been used. When we have been bamboozled and hoodwinked. And we still fool with them anyway. Why? We can't be that lonely inside, could we? Yes, that's why. I'm going to keep fooling with them any damn way, even though I know they lying. I'm going to keep giving you my money when I know you ain't going to never give it back. I'm going to keep feeding you when I know you got resources to go get your own damn food. Come on, Queen. Stay woke. You all should know by now that Summer Wells is probably no longer living. And I think it's time that we start realizing that. As Nancy said in my live part 2 of Hollerville, it's time for pumpkins. That's next month. That's next month. Pumpkins, leaves falling off the trees, Halloween. Next month is Thanksgiving. And after that is Christmas. And then we'll be going into the new year. Do you see where I'm going with this? Time waits on nobody. And time is telling us that something is terribly wrong with this story. And that possibly Summer Wells is not alive. And you're going to have to come to that realization that she's possibly not coming back to anybody. Because those buffoons got her gone for whatever reason. And they did not want Summer Wells, this bright-eyed beauty that they claim to love, shining star they claim to love. There was never any love for Summer Wells. And there was never any Wells for the other boy children. Whether you believe that the boy children were favored over Summer Wells, because you see, you cannot love one child more than the other. Let me correct somebody on that. You choose to favor your children. You love neither. Whether your children are troubled, one's a misfit, troublemaker, wayward, ADHD, handicap, it's all the same. They're your children. And they didn't ask to be here. You brought them here. So you owe them more than what you're giving to them. You see, Summer Wells is Cal City. Cal City is Summer Wells. Like so many other stories of abused children, neglected children, they are all the same. And the race is not a factor. Not now, not never. They are all the same. And let me say this to some of you who are like the Wells. Because you don't touch your child inappropriately does not give you a pass because you don't take your child to the doctor. You don't comb your child's hair. You don't take your child to the dentist. You let your children eat any damn thing they want, let their teeth fall out, rot out, have to have all silver caps. You are just as neglectful as somebody who willingly touches a child or somebody knows a child's being touched. You're no different if you're abusing the child physically, putting your hands on the child, beating your child all the damn time for no damn reason, cursing your children. Let me say that too. You curse at them all the time. You talk down to your kids. You're punishing them for foolish stuff, harshly, locking them in rooms, closets, attics, basements, cellars. You are no different than a person that abused a child sexually, physically, verbally. You're all the same to me. See, that's the thing you don't understand, some of you. You think because you don't hit your child, you all right. No, you a problem parent too. Because if you don't have anything nice to say to your child, about your child, you are no different than a person that's using the child as a punching bag. Foul is foul. And nobody wants to be talked about, talked down to, sexually assaulted, pushed around, favoritism. Nobody wants that as a child. And we sure as hell don't want it as adults. You owe your children more than what you're giving to them. And I don't believe the Wells children got what they needed from Candy and Don. That's obvious. The pictures are worth 1,000 words. And I thank you, Candy and Don, for the photographs. Sadly looking at them. Very sad and pathetic. Trifling is an appropriate word. But I thank you because you gave us a window into your lives and you showed us those of us who are woke, that you never cared for your children. Your priorities lie elsewhere. Drinking, drugs, making up stupid stories of missing children, calling people with prank phone calls. That's y'all. And that's the reason why you don't have your damn kids now. Because you're unfit. You're unfit. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. I want to thank all of you for joining me. I'm not going to hold long because I'll be bringing more uploads today. But I don't know what's going to happen with Donald Wells and these alleged sexual assault charges coming out of Utah. But I brought you this information and a source to show you the law in Utah says there are no limitations on sexual assault pertaining to a child. This issue may perhaps be a civil matter to where these persons will sue Donald Wells. But as someone said in the chat, what are you going to get? He ain't got nothing. So the only worst case scenario for Donald Wells would be prison time. If indeed a judge and or seven members of a grand jury feels the allegations are worth bringing forth an indictment. And that is something all of you need to understand about the law. You have to be indicted in order to have a charge. So 12 people got to gather in a room and huddle together and say to themselves, is this a charges worth bringing forward against Donald Wells? Because what will be the messed up part is Donald doesn't get indicted. Stay woke. So that is something to ponder. If the grand jury will find all allegations worthy of an indictment. Because you don't know if he will be indicted or not. And that is the situation at hand. Will Donald Wells be indicted for the said charges that are being filed? Because it will be up to the district attorney and these 12 people to decide the fate of Donald Wells. And the gist of the story would be he doesn't get indicted. Then what? How would you all feel? Nothing comes out of these allegations. We will be back to the drawing board of wondering, where the hell is Summer? Where we should still be now. Because you see, all this other stuff has overrode Summer Wells. And we have to ask ourselves, how did we get to this point of wondering where she is, worried about people searching for her, nobody's searching for her, Hawkins County taking the lead, no updates to the whereabouts of this young lady, new information of a $38,000 reward fund for the young girl, but that's it. And then all this other sprinkles of he said, she said, Pookie, Ray Ray, Jose, Boy H, his mama. Now allegations of somebody being touched as a child. Now some other women are coming forward. But where is Summer? And it's not to knock anybody that's been allegedly abused sexually by anybody. But where is Summer Wells? This story originated about her, and it is nowhere near Summer Wells at this point. He is having charged and brought to him for harassing the victims. Okay. So, Sanchez, you believe that the church noticed that the child was being abused. Hello, John. How you doing, baby? Thanks for joining me. Well, we will see what the charges are once they are formally put on paper and it is viewed to the public. The public can get the view, the said information. If he's not indicted for the past SA events, then we're back to the missing persons case of his daughter. But see, John, that's the whole point that, some are saying. We've all lost focus in talking about Donald and all this other foolishness and these people bringing forth allegations that he touched them when they were children. But the story is about her. And it's like I said, it's not to throw shade that these people were never touched by Don. Some believe, okay, this can help us understand that possibly he's a pedophile, possibly he did abuse his child. This is why a lot of people, I'm sure, believe he abused his child because of these alleged allegations. But so much has been said about these two with shenanigans. It's not about Summer at this point. It's about prank phone calls, Facebook posts, YouTube interviews, and people saying they was touched by him. It's not about her. It's not about her. Like I said, and it's not to be disrespectful to these people, because I don't know what happened back then. I don't know what happened in Utah with Don. I don't know what Don did, who he did what with. And it's like I said, it's not to disrespect anybody who was sexually abused by him or anybody, but it's still sad that this baby is not found. We don't know where she is. All we're getting is this YouTube BS that's out of control. You know, you all run to that TV set and cell phones like Russia, somebody getting ready to push the damn red button. And you know I'm not lying, because I look at your comments. I go in other chats and I look at the chat. I'm in a lot of chats sprinkled here and there. I ain't gonna say a lot. I'm just gonna say not even a handful of people on YouTube. I hit the button. I go in the chat and just look at what people are saying. I never say nothing. I just listen. The story is all the way gone somewhere else. It's not even about this baby. All right, therefore, see you later. Because there are no leads, it's only logical to look at the parent first and his past and her past and possible predictors of current. I couldn't watch after the first smaller interview. No shame, just hard to watch. Already awful. Yes. Los P, hello, darling. How are you, baby? I want you all to pray for him. Pray for Los P. Thank you, sweetheart. Thanks for watching. God bless you. As I state, my friend and his sister are in need of help down in Louisiana. And if you all can donate anything to help, $Los 55 Perry Cash App, because they're in need of just everything that you got right now that you're humbled and have. They're also in the same need. They are in need of clothes, shoes, toiletries, food, dog food. They have a lot of decision making to make, things that we are not faced with right now. And I understand that some of you have some personal issues of your own. We all have our own personal issues. But one thing that we're not facing is that, like right now, I'm sitting here with Wi-Fi on, paid for, a laptop, cell phones. I got lights on. I got running water. I got hot water. I got food in my refrigerator. I have my car outside. I've got gas in there. I've got a few dollars to put in there. Maybe not much, but you understand where I'm going. God is good. Even on my worst day, I don't have Carlos and his sister's problems. And I want to give God the glory and the thanks. Amen. You see, sometimes, and I've learned this about myself, is that, like this story we're talking about with Summer missing, other people problems. I've heard some crazy stuff the past week from a female I've just met. You don't ever know where you're going to be. And you don't know the problems God will bring to your feet that aren't yours to show you don't have no problems. That goofy stuff you talking about, arguing about, pissing off about, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. You see, God will put people in your path to show you need to tighten your, you know what, because you ain't got no problems. So the stuff you fussing about ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you, Wind Whispers. Thank you so much. Where are you from, baby? Thank you all for joining me. And thank you, Los, for coming in the chat. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, justice for Summer. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. You all are so good to the Queen. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you for your support. And the Queen is almost at 8,000 subscribers. I'm just under 300. Shy. I thank you all. Thank you, Chris, for helping me earlier. This computer stuff makes my head itch. So I've decided I might try to do some things on the channel that I don't normally do because I'm always just chatting on the channel and I never show you anything. So that's what Chris was helping me, showing me some stuff. That's why I was late coming into the chat and coming on live. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Julie. Anytime, baby. Anytime. Thank you, sweetheart. God, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all are so good to me. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I was criminal imagination before. Use my name now. You had me dying nights I watched you. Yes, the Queen can get silly-fied. Y'all know how I rock. Y'all know I can be comical. We've been comical in the past couple lives. And like Nancy said, sometimes you have to have a laugh because what we're talking about is serious. It's not to take away from the disappearance of Summer, but she has buffoons for parents. We already know this. We know that these two people have no business procreating. They shouldn't even be having sex. Let's just keep it real. Now, I've kept the live very clean on an hour now. Those two should not even have sexual relations. They shouldn't even look at each other. Hey, go in another room. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. Don't do nothing. Both of these two need to separate and go get them a separate life somewhere else. Don't procreate. Donald needs to be snipped downtown, and Candace needs to be snipped downtown. No more babies. No more nothing. Yes, this is a dark story. This is a horrible story of a little girl gone and her brother's now in foster care. It can't get any worse. But we're going to pray for her brothers. They're in a better place, like I said. Those babies are getting to see something probably they never saw living out there in Robertsville. Clean house, clean bed, linen, hot water, cold water, shampoo, conditioner, going to the dentist, going to the doctor, getting a haircut. The things that a lot of people take for granted. Things that we will break our necks to go take care of. You need a haircut? Well, you go to the barber. You need a hair trim? You go to the beauty salon. You want to wash your hair? You go buy shampoo and conditioner. You see where I'm going? I don't think those kids were getting the basics. I could tell that in the videos and the pictures. Candace and Don did not take good care of those kids, and they know they did not. The children look horrible to me. And the baby especially look dirty in a lot of the photographs. And most of you will agree. She looked very dirty. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Everybody say thank you to Mr. John Q. Thank you, sweetheart, for joining me. I'm not going to hold you all any longer, but I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm going to log off of here and do my updates pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly. As most of you know, Robert Kelly is being indicted on racketeering and sexual offenses in the state of New York. It is the U.S. versus R. Kelly. We will see what happens. I'm kind of tired of that situation too. All this mirrors each other to me. Everybody's just out here doing what they want with no respect for other people, no respect for our children. There's no respect for children. There's no respect for women. None. We are just casualties of war. Nobody gives a damn about us. We are just rugs to walk upon, bodies to use, pocketbooks to use, homes a place to sleep like a hotel. There's no value toward the woman or the children. And it's sad. 2021, you would think women and children would be treated better. But we are not treated better here in the United States. Women and children are not treated well overseas, especially in third world countries. There's no respect for us. There's no respect for us. None. Thank you all so much. God bless. I love you. I'm going to put this in the chat for my friend, Mr. Carlos, who was in the chat. If any of you want to help donate to my friend to get him settled. Right now, he is dealing with FEMA and currently staying in a hotel with his sister down in Louisiana. And we're praying that they get everything situated. Thank you all for joining me. Well, I'm going to check out of here because I'm going an hour and 20 minutes in. I want to hold you guys 200 in the room. Thank you all. Been so kind to me. Honey, I want to write no books. Queen, I won't write no books. My English has been bad since I've been doing this YouTube. Sometimes I write stuff and I say, Angela, that's not good English. And my English has gotten horrible doing this stuff too. But I thank you all for following the content. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Doug. How you doing? Thank you all for joining me. We will see what happens with this case. I don't know where this is going to go, but I gave you the rundown of the Utah law. No limits, stipulations, but he can fight it. I did read you that information inside this Utah law. Donald Wells can fight all the allegations brought. Naturally, why wouldn't he? So naturally, whatever's been said on YouTube, Facebook, letters, conversations, any recordings, if those people want to be witnesses and bring forth the said information against Donald Wells, they can. And it will be up to, as I state, what a grand jury decides. If the prosecuting attorney wants to come forth with an indictment, that's who's going to make the decision, the state's attorneys. That's what's going to make the decision pertaining to Donald Wells. So we will see what happens. But I want to send this out for my friend. Anybody that has any type of coins, dollars that you would like to donate to Carlos. He has a Cash App. I just put it in the chat. It's $Los55 Perry to donate to him, to help him. Thank you, John Q. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. If any of you want to donate to Carlos to get him help down in Louisiana, to get him to move either to somewhere else in Louisiana or Tennessee. He's trying to make up his mind where he wants to go. He also has dogs he's trying to take care of. A few are in Louisiana right now. He's having to house them. And naturally, people don't want to, help take care of your dogs. And then he also has dogs in shelters here in Tennessee. And that house has come under scrutiny because there's damage to that said home where the dogs are up here. So now he has to decide what to do about the dogs here in the shelter and the dogs back home in Louisiana. And naturally, he'd want to keep all his dogs, but he is not in a shape to do that because their house has been ruined by floodwaters and trees that have come inside of the home. So his Cash App is in this live. If you want to donate $5, $10, $20, whatever your pocketbook can afford, please, because he has to keep gas in his car to travel from the house that they're still trying to clean up, plus wherever the hotel is located, because I didn't even ask how far away the hotel is. It's a bad situation. And I'm praying for him, and I'm praying for his sister. I'm praying for all those in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, New York, New Jersey. My prayers are with all of you. I don't know what you're going through, and I don't ever want to know. I don't ever want to be in this predicament. And I want you all to pray for Carlos and his sister. Pray for all our people. Yes, you're creating an account and help him out. Thank you, Daphne. Yes, Carlos' Cash App is in this chat. So scroll up, donate whatever you can. And I'm already waiting for Jeremy to get back with me to see what he and Val can come up with as far as gift cards to send to them down there, because I don't even know what address they'll be able to use. Because, at this point, it's a dangerous situation when you're not near your house. You got to worry about people pilfering through your house and checking your mailbox. And see, that's stuff that none of us even think about because we're not in that situation. You got to think about mail. If they want to get mail, that means they have to set up a post office. Is the post office even up and running? So you have to think about all that stuff we don't even have to think about because we're not in that predicament. God bless all of you. Thanks for joining me. Thank my mods. Love you, Carlos. Love all of you all, my fans. I will try to be back on. Next upload is pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly. U.S. versus Robert Kelly. He's been a nasty booger. Follow the content on Everyday Shenanigans Thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Thanks for everything. Love you. Bye, baby.